Hi! We're live! It says so right there on YouTube. Second time this week. Let's go! We are continuing our story of Want. And I sadly haven't had the time to make a beautiful title page yet, like Fly here, or make an illuminated letter. But you know, it'll happen at one point, I'm sure, once I do find the time. So, what are we making? Well, we're making Want, as I just said. It is my 4th short story. I know, that's wild. And out of 10, maybe 11. So that's not so wild, and we have a long way to go. But Want is a short story about the Fae Folk of the Forgotten Songs universe. I spent a good deal of time outside today, and it really shows. I got sort of sunburned in my face, it looks like. Can't say I don't go outside then. That's a little sidetrack there. Last night we actually began Want in the great big book. It doesn't have any title on the first page. But yeah, we began it. We began it with... Well, actually, we haven't introduced the main character yet, but I do think we have a pretty solid opening here. So, it's winter time. Fae Folk are a nature woodland race. They believe in the Great Cycle as a religion, and they are the gnomes, the hobbits of Forgotten Songs fantasy. A big thing about Fae Folk is that they have a spirit bound. They're spirit bound, or they are spirit bound. So each Fae Folk have an animal that through a ritual came to them as they were young babies, and their life force, their life is linked to this animal and vice versa. So you have the Fae Folk, and then you have the spirit bound, which is an animal, but the Fae Folk, the Faean, is the spirit bound to the animal, so they're each other's spirit bound. It's not like a master and pet situation, and they can communicate with each other. They know each other's feelings and what they would say, even though the spirit bound can rarely talk, if at all. Right, so yesterday, we started with what's he called? With a druid called Weaklin. Here it is, Weaklin. And I don't remember what his name is. But we have something here. Here we have Carl. We changed the character's name. It's from Wisdom, which is called Weaklin. So Weaklin, and the way Fae Folk comes up with names is that the parents figure out some aspect, either that's believed to be an aspect of the spirit bound, so they don't get a name. Fae Folk don't get a name until after the spirit bound ceremony, and then they contract that word. So Weaklin, as I hope that is pronounced correctly, because I know I'm making my own languages up, or my own words up, but I do find inspiration in real world languages, and Faean is inspired by Scottish Gaelic and Welsh. And I believe the DH sound is like a Wiglin, which means wisdom, because Wiglin Spiritbound is an owl. Near here, I'm almost certain that I don't have the G in here. Near here. So like that. I kept going back and forth in this. Nergir, which means Nerger, which means messenger. And we've introduced him. He is dying. Let's just go back. I should say they, because the life force is of course bound to each other. They are bound by spirit. But the druid Wiglin and his spirit-bound Nergir is dying. And the way Fae Folk wants to die, is that they choose themselves when the time is right, and if they can, of course, and they go into the roots of the realm oak, of the realm tree that they are protecting. It is believed that the realm trees are sort of like this centerpiece of the great cycle, their religion. It is believed to be a direct link between the worlds of the living and the worlds of spirit. And it is believed that the realm trees are a depiction of one of their gods, the Amber Father, and the other one being the Umber Mother. So that's sort of like death and life, death and living. And yeah, that's the beginning of the story. Wiglin starts off by saying, "Father, into your arms I commend my spirit." And that is his final words of his speech, of the winter celebration that is about to end with this ceremony of Wiglin and Nergir giving up their life, basically. So yeah, I think yesterday, let's read it once again. But I think yesterday I was pretty happy with our intro. Yes. "Father, into your hands I commend my spirit." The last words came almost booming from the old druid as he raised his arms towards the naked snow-covered branches of the tremendous realm oak. His one hand was open, the other clutching the gnarled staff of sleep, made from the roots of the realm oak itself. Maybe it should be the great realm tree. Great realm tree itself. Druid Wiglin's sudden motion with his arms almost made the spotted eagle owl fall right off the top of his head, where it had been sleeping. Nergir, the name of the druid spirit-bound, lifted his ear tufts and annoyingly pecked at the druid's forehead before lazingly? Is it lazily? Lazingly or lazily? Lazingly. It's not lazingly, it's lazily. I thought that was weird as well. Okay, let's just amend that. Lazily. Preening his great white feathers, fluffing up, and going back to sleep. The owl was much, much older than its average kin, and it had showed in the ruffled old feathers that almost didn't have any spots left. If the feathers had progressed from the pin stages at all. But so was the life of having one spirit being bound to that of... We don't need being there. Spirit bound to that of the Fae Folk. Okay, I think it's a pretty cool introduction. We mentioned the realm oak. We mentioned that they are, or the realm trees. We mentioned they are tremendously big. We mentioned druidism, so we already know that it's religious. Hopefully, the mention of the staff and it's not actually not what I want to say. Hopefully, the mention of druids and the names Dair, Weeglin, says something that it is inspired, by Celtic culture. I remember from yesterday we were I found it quite important to show at the intro very soon that Fae Folk are the gnomes or the hobbits of this world. And by that I mean they're not very tall. They're very short. They go to the hip of a human. Hip, maybe stomach, beginning of stomach, or bottom of stomach. And sort of like the stomach chest area of a dwarf, right? And we found out, we had the great idea yesterday to use Dair here, who is a spotted eagle owl. He's a spotted eagle owl, as it says right here, because that is the average height of a spotted eagle owl is 45 centimeters, and the hip hip of a male human is about 80 centimeters up in the air. So we're going to use, as I mentioned somewhere here, it is sitting on top like this, on top of Weeglin, the druid, and we're going to use that to our advantage to say something like it looks funny, that he's 1.5 times his normal size, right? Or it gives him 50% more or something, without saying percentage, of course. So I think that's what we want here. This is, of course, my average size mug. It is me who is very, very short, very small. It is what it is. I am the Fae Folk of the real life, almost, as you can clearly see from that average size mug. Right. Let's get to it, shall we? That only took 15 minutes. Yesterday we spent an hour talking about or introducing Fae Folk. So this is progress. This is great progress. But so was the life of having one spirit bound to that of the Fae Folk. The owl was much, much older than its average kin. I was just thinking if we should mention more explicit how old they are, how old this owl is. So in my here, I have the age of Woodland and Dair here to be 128, which is old for a Faean. I don't quite remember. I think they were like around 130. It's like the maximum. I think I said that. But yeah, if we should mention, maybe not mention directly that this is 128. But we could say like something along the lines of after more than 100 years. But Fae Folk wouldn't call it years. Right? They would call it something like seasons, I mean cycles. Now, they wouldn't call it the Great Cycle. That's a religion. That's the name of their religion. And the Great Cycle is life, death. But the seasons are symptoms. No, that's symptoms. They're symbols. The seasons are symbols of life and death. So maybe I don't know. You know, we could say like, so was the life of having one spirit bound to that of the Fae Folk. So we would say like, this is of course just version 1.0.0 that we're writing right now. So lots of things are going to get changed. And I can tell you that fly or danger or calamity, oh boy, that was a lot of stuff that needed to be changed once we digitized it. Anyway, so it's better just to get something down. Having experienced over 100 and 20 just cycles, I guess. Cycles of summer and winter. Near here. Usually spent most of his time with his large, I think I said this was cadmium yellow. And that's a little, it's a Bob Ross reference. Cadmium yellow. It's a color he uses a lot. Cadmium yellow, eyes closed. Man, I love Bob Ross. So I figured cadmium yellow, mentioning him in my story about my nature-loving folk is, I mean, I like that reference, right? Live stream, we have the 7:25. So I'm gonna annotate that, and that was around 21. Yeah, 0021. Cadmium yellow. Bob Ross. Happy little reference to Bob Ross. Yeah, of course, I annotate my own highlights, and I'm doing it like I might just get this out of the way. I'm annotating my own highlights as they pop up. I'm not necessarily going to make highlights, short form videos out from every single one, but just what I think could be a fun or good short form video. And I'm doing it as they happen on the go, because I simply don't want to watch through 2-3 hours of myself finding good highlights. I don't have time for that. So sorry if the stream is going to be a little fragmented from time to time, because I have to annotate, but it is to help myself in the long run. Anyway, Dair here usually spent most of his time with his large cadmium yellow eyes closed and sleeping right there on his spirit bound's head. So here we also make it clear that while Dair is the druid spirit bound, the druid weakling is also Dair's spirit bound. So they have this mutual relationship. Okay. So is this where we introduce Carl and Quilfane? It could be. I keep thinking about how we want to elaborate that, or how we want to explain that the Fae Folk are the hobbits, the gnomes of this world in the height, because it's such an important, distinguished feature, right? That they're so small. So how do we say that it's funny looking? Okay, if we say like, if you go like up close, it looks funny that the spotted owl sits so in my appearance here. Wigglin is clad in the white robes of druidism, grey long hair, adorning a headpiece and staff made from dried roots of the realm tree. So Nereus sits in a headpiece that it looks like he's sitting in a nest. Maybe we should say that here. Okay, I just thought I messed something up. I didn't. Not this time. Sorry, I was distracted by Streamlabs and its UI. So, up close, up, it looked rather comical to see the spotted eagle owl on top of the white robed druids gray hair. Wigglin. Wigglin. What did Wigglin do? Wigglin. Maybe we should say Druid Wigglin. Druid Wigglin always war. Always wore a not a crown. What did I say it was called here? Not a crown, but headpiece. What's a headpiece called where it's like a headband, but it's like a crown? Crown headband called diadem? Yeah. Diodoto is wearing a diadema, the white ribbon, which is a symbol of kingship. Yeah. Maybe. Sort of. No, I feel like diadem is very much a jewelry sort of thing. But let's just say headpiece. Made from the gnarled roots out of let's just say made from gnarled roots. And then say similar to his staff of sleep. I'm not sure if I want to call it staff of amber or staff of sleep. So the Fae Folk in the Great Cycle religion, they don't say death. They don't believe that the spirit dies. They believe that the spirit travels to the amber sleep, and they say sleep because it's very much, like we humans today say, he looks so peaceful, like he's sleeping, or she, when they die, when people die. So I sort of took that concept and made it. What if it was actually the idea that they were just sleeping and the spirit went on to another realm? They're calling it the amber sleep. Amber is, of course, a type of yellow. It should be amber. So it's very much this here color. It's very, very almost dark rich yellow, right? Because it's believed that the death realm of the Great Cycle, where the Amber Father is this color mostly, like the grass and the grass and the trees and so on in this realm. So we could call it Staff of Amber instead of Staff of Sleep. But let's just for now call it Staff of Sleep. It's not super important right now. Not super important. A little bit important. A little bit. Tiny little bit important. Anyway. Druid Weakling always wore a headpiece made from gnarled root, similar to his Staff of Sleep, which made it so that what did it make? So it made it so it looked like near here was sitting in a nest when he was sleeping on top of his head. But I feel like we've written on top of his head a lot already. Something to that end at least. Nice. Just managed to, even though there's a straw in this, I managed to pour water onto myself. Very good. Very good, very nice. Exactly what we wanted. So Druid Weakling always wore a headpiece made from gnarled root, similar to his Staff of Sleep, which made it so that Nergir made it so that Nergir not basically I don't know, up close it looked rather comical. So I sort of don't want to say looked again, because we have it right here, but maybe we should just write something down and then change it up later. I don't know. I don't know why I'm even stuck on this. It shouldn't be. It's not an important formulation, is it? And formulation is not the right word. That's what you would say in Danish. Made it. Let's write look here. Which made it look like near here took his long naps in a small nest. I took his long naps in a small nest. And now I think we can say we can begin to explain the Fae Folk's height, because now we can say, so now we have up close, but now we can say from a distance. How did my finger become black here? I don't know. I took this with me to Mallorca, where I had a little vacation. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably saw that. And the pressure from the plane, it didn't quite explode the what's it called? This one, the ink cartridge here. But when I opened it down there and wanted to write with it, like ink had just flowed out, and this was all smudged, and this was all black, smudged with ink. So that was pretty funny. There's something I didn't think of would happen. Right, but I am stalling with that small detour. From a distance, the owl added almost half of the druid's height. Making when resting there on his head. Oops. No. Head. When resting there on his head. Making wiggling look like the tallest Fae Folk there ever was. There we have it. Boom. This, I think, is about half a page when digitized. So in this half a page we have realms, we have druids, we have some sort of religion, we have the spirit bound, and we now also have the height of the Fae Folk. I'm very happy with that. I'm quite happy with that, actually. So now I think we need to discuss, change perspective to Carl. And I quite like that we said up close it looked like that and from a distance, because I want Carl to be standing in a distance and watching this, because he is about to leave the realm. So before we do that, let's go over here and let's go to the synopsis. As you probably don't know unless you followed yesterday, we are building this short story up around the skeleton that is called Dan Harmon's Story Circle. Dan Harmon is the creator, I think, of Rick and Morty. So he knows what he's doing when he's making a story, even though I haven't actually seen Rick and Morty because I cannot stand the eyes. But it's a very cool way. It's a very cool twist on the classic hero's journey story structure. So that's what we're doing as well. And right now we are in the very first. So he has these 8 steps that we have to go through to have a nice story that makes sense and is engaging. And we are in the first one, that is establishing the protagonist, the character in the comfort zone, which in this case is Carl and his spirit-bound Gulfane. And we are trying to establish life at the Realm Oak. So right now, let's just go that. Right now, yeah, we're still trying to establishing life at the Realm Oak, right? I'm thinking, how are we doing that? Right now we've established Fae Folks pretty well, I would say. And we established the Realm Oak. We're in nature, we're druids, animals, spirit bounds, so on and so forth. So I guess now we actually need to do this. Spirit bound. We also haven't said anything about what Wiglin is or who he is. We only said that he's a druid. He has the Staff of Sleep. There. But we haven't mentioned that it's actually kind of a big deal that this is the head druid who should have been an elder druid because his skills are that good, right? His work was with the amber sleep ritual and tending the dead and the roots of the realm oak. So it's like a core function in the Great Cycle religion. So that needs to be established as well, but I think we need to establish Carl now. I think that must be the next. It made Wiglin look like the tallest Fae Folk there was. It didn't make him looked. Can we do both? Can we both establish Carl and call out Wiglin's function? I feel like we should be able to. Thinking. Do we just go head first into it? Carl was watching from that distance. Something along those lines. We could definitely do that. Oops. I think we do. Carl was watching I'm thinking like if we should have what's it called, like how much we should say now that Carl was the tree attendant to Wiglin. Carl and Gwilfane was the tree attendant to Wiglin and Nergir. And that his old mentor was like the greatest druid in the world. Or if that should be like part of some conversation. So that's my biggest problem right now with me using the story circle structure. The idea is that, so for Calamity, Danger and Fly, I've made what I call story beats, but it was supposed to be like a short synopsis of what was going to happen, and then it turned into like basically the entire story, but without spoken language. So it was like Parthizax does this, and then this happens, and then he does this, and he takes her hand, and the little girl starts crying, you know. So like really detailed bullet points. Whereas this is much more skeleton. It's much more free and open. But that also means that I have to come up with it on the spot of what happens in details. So in theory, it opens up much more time for me because I don't have to do everything twice, basically. But I also, I mean, it was sort of nice to have the safety of a detailed bullet list of what's going to happen next, and then I could differ from that if I wanted to, you know? It's interesting. And it's actually so interesting. I think we're gonna note it down. So let's note it with story circle versus detailed story beats. Okay. Okay. Okay, so here, I really like that we're saying from a distance. I sort of wanted to say Carl was watching from that distance, but I don't think that makes a whole lot of sense, to be honest. No, I don't. No, I do not. No, I don't. Let's just get something down. But he could still hear his speech and prayer clearly. I think I want to note here that even though death is such a big part of the great cycle, or the amber sleep is such a great part of the amber cycle, there's not a lot of people for the celebration. And that's alluding to the fact that people would rather... Maybe Carl is frustrated. Also, since he's spent a lot of time working with Weaklin, the druid, and the Amber Sleep, and knows the significance of it. But it's sort of alluding to the fact that it's falling out of favor, which again, maybe we could have Carl be frustrated about it and say it more explicitly, that there's been a power struggle at the top of the druids of the Realm Oak, and the outcome was Druid Wiglin not being forgotten, but being... his importance being diminished by the others, by the elder druids, right? And that sort of seeped into the rest of society. So now, at this point, even though Druid Wiglin is a very liked leader, a druid, it's not a leader, that would be the elder druid, but a very liked druid. But people have sort of forgotten the importance of it. Now I was just thinking, if Fae Folk would be calling something else than winter. Where does the winter name come from? Winter name meaning. Okay, I'm actually thinking of the coldest and darkest season of the year. It comes from Proto-Germanic wind-through, whose origins is unclear. Okay, cool. I only mentioned water. Okay. I was like, if winter is as a word would come from something Christianity or something. I mean, that I probably knew that it didn't, but that would definitely be. I'm almost out of ink. That would definitely not be great. Like, I had the Blessed Crusade. I mentioned that, I think, in Danger, and crusade. I had a lot of struggle with that word because everyone knows what a crusade is, but it's actually very much tied to. It's very much tied to the Christian crusades to Jerusalem, and part of that is the crucifix, the crusade, the crucifix, which is sort of didn't have. The Blessed Crusade in Danger is under the banners of the teachings of the 5 pillars. So, you know. I think I had a workaround. I didn't mention it in Danger, but in my notes I have a workaround. Anyway. I wanted to see if there was a different word than celebration, thesaurus. Celebration, good times, come on. Celebration, commemoration. Ceremony, festival, festivity, jubilee, observance. Hulu-baloo. Merriment, merrymaking. I don't know, I'm just looking for a word that screams fantasy. You know? It's not always that they're there, but sometimes. Sometimes you just stumble on a word that's just, it screams fantasy, and you're like, yeah, I need to use that. It was, whoops, there we go. It was the end of the winter celebration. And like the other seasonal let's use festivities here. Festivities. they concluded with... I'm not making that U better at all. Oh my god. Oh my god. It says concluded. Alright, it's fine. Everyone can read it. It was the end of the winter celebrations, and like the other seasonal festivities, they concluded with Fae Folk choosing to enter the roots choosing to enter the amber sleep by giving up Fae Folk and spirit bound. Giving up their living bodies to the realm oak. I'm thinking how we can continue this line of thought. So I think I wanna discuss how big of a deal the amber sleep actually is in the Great Cycle, and contrast that with how few people are actually present at these celebrations right now. I also just realized something. That they probably shouldn't be concluding for something that's going to happen later. Oh my god, and after I spent so long writing the perfect concluded that is so easy to see and read, I just didn't need to do that, I guess. On a good note, we're almost done with the very first page of this story. So that's gonna be nice. I just need to come up with what to write. That's a big problem about writing books, right? You have to come up with stuff to put down on paper. And sometimes nothing is happening up here. So 118 problem with writing books. That's no. Okay. Okay, I think I'll keep the fact that it concludes with this, because it makes sense that it's a winter celebration, and you know it's celebrating the amber sleep, and the celebration for that would end with the ritual for the amber sleep, right? So spring celebrations would end with spirit-bound ritual of binding, I think I called it. This is the ritual of amber that is happening. And the summer would end with lots of marriages. Autumn would end with new druids, new tree attendants. To keep the themes: spring, life, summer, middle ages, and growing up. Autumn, wisdom, druidism. Winter, death. So I think we'll keep conclude for now. Okay, so Carl was watching his mentor from afar, but he could still hear his speech and prayer clearly. It was the end of the winter celebrations, and like the other seasonal festivities, they concluded. Should probably say something here. We concluded with the main event. What's a different word for symbol? Or like symbolic? Letter, character, no. Sign or written, no. Symbolic? Copy and paste. Symbolic. Representative. Allegorical. It concluded well, I probably just like it should just say something here, like concluded with the main symbolism. Yeah, because it's there's too little room up here for making real changes. So I'm just gonna leave it there, and then we're gonna add that in the digitized version, or revised versions. So concluded with Fae Folk and Spirit Bound choosing to enter the Amber Sleep by giving up their bodies to the Realm Oak. Living. I think remains is probably better here. Oh, did that die? Cartridge. I think it did. See if there is anything left in it. No, I don't think there is. Alright, one moment. I will go find a new cartridge. Luckily, I have 1 billion of them. So it's quite simple. Just split it apart and we unplug the old ink cartridge, place it somewhere where it doesn't leave a mark on my desk. Stupid. And then we just take the new one, plug it in, and screw it together. And we just need to open the new cartridge, so there's a little bit of resistance there, and sort of good to go. Now it usually needs a little bit of prodding. There we go. So here it says remains, living remains, and now it's probably going to be lots and lots of ink bursting forth, so my handwriting is going to be even worse than usual. Let's make that a short form video. And that is around 1:26. I don't know why, I just thought it could be an interesting video, changing ink cartridge. Maybe, yeah. It's just throwing stuff up there. Yes, pen is working. That's true, Ambius. Thank you. Thank you for that comment. New pen, new writing, I guess. Oh, look, like the ink that was dried up, so was my ability to come up with writing. So now that we have a new ink cartridge, the creative juices are flowing once again. You would think. I'm just adding to the note abilities. All right. All right. Wow. Okay, I swear I'm done adding to the. So I'm done adding to that. To that annotation. Okay, so Fae Folk choosing into them sleep by giving up their living remains to the realm oak. Have we mentioned the Great Cycle before, actually? I don't think so. Okay, so this is a perfect time to mention the Great Cycle as the religion, right? This event was supposed to be the biggest. Supposed to be the biggest. Actually, not this event, but instead, let's say the ritual of Amber. The ritual of Amber was supposed to be the biggest event of the winter. And the winter celebrations given its status. Prominence. Given its prominence, you could say that. Yeah, let's go with prominence. Prominence. In relation to the Great Cycle. Winter was was the necessary death winter was the necessary death where am I going with this? I'm a little bit scared. I think that's a problem I have with this new method. I know this is the first time I'm trying to use the story circle. So, like all beginnings, it's a little bit difficult to wrap your head around. But I think what I'm struggling with and maybe scared of, it's probably a better phrase to use, is the fact that I'm very, very conscious if I'm writing in circles, or that I might be writing in circles. But I guess that's what this version 1.1 is for, right? And then when we digitize it and we revise it, there goes, like, we fix those things. So it's not a problem. But still, I would like to have less work to do in the revision, because the revision of Fly took for freaking ever. When did Fly end? When did I stop writing Fly? Here. 14th of January. I didn't publish Fly until 1st of June? Did I spend that much time? God damn. Okay, that's way too long time. Of course I had a couple of movings and stuff needed to get used to, but still, that's way too long, dude. Anyway, hopefully that won't happen with Want. And we're almost at bottom of the page, almost starting a new page. So let's see if we can get over the finish line. This is the finish line. This right here is the finish line. I feel like it's such a relief first getting started, but also just having the first page written down. It's such a great feeling, and then the rest just comes trotting along. Winter was the necessary death. Of all things living. And without the great cycle toward that without death there would be no new life. I know we said great cycle up here and we said it down here in the explanation as well. I'm a little annoyed by that, but okay, it is what it is. There will be no new life. And so it was to be celebrated. When a Fae Folk and their spirit bound. We did it! First page is written. Hooray! Now where are we in the pages of this? So we're technically on page 86, I guess, but as you will notice here, well, I made a mistake of going with in the beginning of Fly, skipping an entire page, but I also made the mistake of not annotating the title page. So we have 49, that's the end page of Danger, and then Fly, it's not annotated, and then 50 is the first. It's the first page of Fly. So yeah, so this is 84 is the end of Fly. So this is going to be Want, beautiful title page. And so this will be 85. 85. And of course I messed that up. Let's just blow on it. Just to make sure that it doesn't smudge when we turn the page. Doesn't smudge too bad. So this is 86, 85, 86, 86. Yeah. There we go. And I managed, with that little detour, I managed to forget where we were. And so it was to be celebrated when Fae Folk in the spirit bound. Themselves chose to enter the amber. And reunite with the amber father. Ba, 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 ba. Right. We could also say chose to enter the roots, not the roosts. I swear I've written roost so many times in Fly that it's just on top of my head. That's supposed to say enter, not enter. And when the time was right, the spirits I'm not sure if this is even supposed to be here. I wanna say something like, I wanna mention the Umber Mother here. The spirits would the spirit will. I'm not sure if this is the place to mention this, because we're talking about death and winter and all that. And suddenly talking about the spirits reincarnating. But I'm going to write it anyway. We can always remove it later. And when the time is right, the spirits will travel back to the Umber Mother and the living and the lands of the lands of the living, ready to guide a newborn Fae through life. Okay, so I have a couple of issues with that sentence, I think. So I'm mentioning the land of the living, and I'm mentioning life in the same sentence. I'm not entirely happy about that. I also am not entirely happy with my handwriting, which seems to deteriorate the more I write, and I feel like it should get better. Being older. Alas. You know what, I'm gonna make that an annotation. That was around 1:48. Writing deteriorating. Getting older. All right. Sorry, my brain is lagging. It's no fun. Oops. We are creeping up on 2 hours as well, so maybe that's why the brain is lagging. Let's take those last 10 minutes and see where we're at in our headspace. Right. Okay. So we want to talk now. We've had a description of the Great Cycle. This is winter festivities and winter and death. The amber sleep is important because without death there cannot be new life, and without spirits returning to the amber father they cannot reincarnate and travel back to the amber mother and the life of the living as spirit bound. So this here is alluding to the fact that, without explicitly stating, that spirit bounds are believed to be old spirits reincarnated to guide new Faeans. Very Buddhism, like I think it's called Vajrayana, the branch of Buddhism where you believe in reincarnation to come back and guide the masses, basically. That's the inspiration, anyway. So here, I think I want Carl to be frustrated, sad that there isn't a big turnout, even though this is supposed to be the main celebration of the winter festivities. And then through that, we might mention a bit like what a great druid Weaklin was, Oh my god, it sounds like weakling. Weakling. I need to make sure that I say weakling. Not weakling. 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 He was not a weakling. He was great, strong. Strong in the ways of spirits. Say like maybe it was maybe Carl was able to hear the clearly was because of the fact that so few had was actually had actually had actually gathered around the entrance, the archway sounds better. The archway into the roots of the realm oak. So do we go into his thoughts now? Starting to see something. Just need to check something. Do we go into his thoughts now? What does he think? Does he just think disappointing or something? Just thinks disappointing. Okay, so if you read any of my things, you know that when someone thinks, it's in cursive. I haven't, besides the cursive I write for these stories, I haven't written anything cursive since like the 5th grade, so don't judge me right now. Also, I'm a little bit unsure on how to spell disappointing. Disappointing. It looks wrong. It's only with one S. God damn it. Disappointing. That's actually disappointing that I didn't know how to spell that. It's alright. Misspelling. Disappointing. In bad cursive. Disappointing. Cal thought and shook his head ever so slightly. But it wasn't entirely surprising. It wasn't entirely surprising. Having worked as a tree attendant for years. As a tree attendant for years, under the stewardship Stewardship. That was who was taking care of something that's not the same. Yeah. I mean, we already called him a mentor though, but having worked as a tree attendant. I want to write something before we write under the stewardship. So we want to go like... I worked as a tree attendant for years, tending the roots and tending the roots and the tending the dead and the roots into twining and what's it called? It was like plugged in. Oops, plugged. Congested. Tight. Plugged in. Oh, there's actually. Aware. Cognizant, enlightened, familiar, knowledgeable. No, united maybe. Integrated, linked, unanimous. No. As with it. So I want to say that here I want to say that the roots are like they're intertwining into the bodies and they're like the roots of the realm oaks, you know, are like into the bodies and the realm oak is absorbing them through the roots. I'm not quite sure that we're using the right words or that I have the right words. Having worked as a tree attendant for years, tending the dead and the roots. The roots sticking into them. That sounds stupid. The roots. It's definitely not intertwining. So we don't care that the roots are intertwining the dead. Oh my god, there's so many mistakes all around this page already. Oh my goodness. And the roots sucking their life force. Connecting. Do we have a better word for connecting? Do we have a better word for connecting? Connecting. Connected. Combined. Joined. You know what? That's not bad. Joined. And the roots joining them with the realm oak itself. That's having worked as a tree attendant for years, tending the dead and the roots, joining them with the realm oak itself. Cal knew all too well how his fellow Fae Folk gradually had lost interest in the otherwise so important part of their religion. Can I just say that we spent like an hour, 1.5 hours coming from like here and to the rest of the page and down to the rest of the page, and now I feel like we spent half an hour just on this almost half of the second page. That's what I mean with saying, like, when we get the first page done, the flow just starts. I do also feel like my brain lag has disappeared slightly, so I think we're gonna continue at least for 15 more minutes. That makes a 2.5 hour stream for today. Seems like a good time. I also need to find some more music to put on, because I think this is like second or third time this song has come on. Yeah, we only have 1 hour and 50 minutes of we will have 1 hour and 50 minutes of music, and we're in second hour right now. So Oh well. Okay, so now we want to say that Carl was working under the stewardship of Druid Weaglin, right? Weaglin. I think I need to say Weaglin for it to not sound like weakling. Weakling. That is also how you spell the name. As you can see right here. Weaglin. Anyway. Alright. When pressing his I'm gonna say mentor on the matter Druid Weaglin had always been rather dismissive. Okay, so now this is gonna be the first. I think we're gonna do. No, that's not right. I was about to say we have the first spoken words in the story, but we're actually starting the story, of course, with a spoken sentence. So, never mind that. So what is Weaglin going to say? So this conversation needs to say that Weaglin is the top honcho, the top druid when it comes to matters of the Amber Sleep. In case it's not obvious in the fact that he has a staff called the Staff of Sleep. Right. Remember when I said that my brain had stopped lagging? Yeah, that came back real fast. That is not something for a young and free mind such as yours to concern itself with. druid Eglin. I think I also want to go into detail of like the ritual of amber here. And how they're connecting the roots of the realm oak to the body. Had said plainly. Expecting Carl to let it go. Let it go. Let it go. And he didn't. Okay. This is of course a flashback. How long back we're flashing, I don't really have any idea. Like I said, I'm very much making this up on the spot, where I usually have my detailed story beats to lean up against. But we're doing the story circle, so you know, we're making this up as we go. And we're still on the very first part of the story circle, the you establishing the protagonist. It's here. And I feel like we're gonna be here for a while. For at least some more live streams. Of course, unless I write outside of live streams, which I may. Okay, so now no, not that dude. Where did I? Oh my god. God damn it. So, I'm in the background document here. Like I was mentioning last time, there has been a corruption of power in the Elder Druid, amongst the Elder Druids of the Realm Oak at least. And Wieglin is not part of that power struggle, which is why he was sort of relegated and diminished, even though he was a quite strong druid. But I thought I had named the Elder Druid who he was battling with. So apparently I didn't. because I want it here to I want Carl to say like, but why is the elder druid? Why is this elder druid discussing that? God damn it. I want to allude to this, there being a power struggle among the druids here. God damn it, I need to figure out a name. I don't think I have the mental fortitude to figure out a name for that stupid elder druid. Right now, at least. So is there anything else we can write before that's going to happen? So we can fill out at least 5 more minutes. 6 more minutes. So we get to that sweet 2.5 hours. I'm gonna say, bring me more paste. If you would... Oh my god, did you see that? I just changed a... It's the little things. I just changed an apostrophe signifying beginning of a sentence, of a spoken sentence, into an L. It's the little things. It's the little things you have to be happy about. If you would be so kind. We can send his tree attendant. Oh. Attendant. An overbearing smile. Smile through his full grey beard that was so long it almost touched the ground. I'm reading The Hobbit right now, and if this would have been The Hobbit, where he establishes very early on that he's telling a story to someone in the book, we could have said something like almost touch the ground, but for a Faen, but even though it was long for a Faen, for a human it wouldn't have been longer than their arm or something. You know, we could have sort of expanded on the explanation of it, but I think it's all right. I think it's so all right that I'm gonna annotate to 29. The Hobbit storytelling perspective. Okay. Right. We're going on to over the 2 hours and 30 minutes in just 5 seconds. So let's use a little trick here, but doesn't it annoy you? So I'm gonna end there for the day. And the trick here is that when we have an unfinished word or sentence that we know what to write, this is an actual psychological trick. If you have an unfinished task and you know what to do, it is like if you leave it unfinished, then it's easier to get started next time you pick it up, because oftentimes just getting started is the hardest part with most things. But if you make it easy to finish the word in this sentence, in this case, so that's gonna say annoy. I just have to add the O and the Y, and we're started. We're over that hurdle of starting. And talking about the hurdle of starting is what we're going to end this live stream with. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I hope it was fun. I actually think we got to write an entire page this time around. Yeah, wonderful. We're so started with this new story, with Wand, the story about the Fae Folk, and I'm excited. But this is also the last live stream for this week, so we're going to have to continue next week. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. It's probably going to be at 8 in the evening next week as well, on Monday. I'll make the new live stream right now, and hope to see you there. And I don't know if we'll continue from this point in the story or if I've written more in the meantime, but anyway, I'll make sure to let you guys in on what's happened and where we're going in the story. And thank you guys so much for watching. I hope to see you next week. Bye.